What's the one thing you think that you didn't have or you lacked to take you to the next level? And I know there's some luck involved, but what's the one thing you think that I don't want to say held you back because you did what you did.
So first thing that pops in my head, confidence, lack of confidence. So one thing I noticed that, we all have these life experiences, right? And it all leads us to where we should be, I believe. But the short story of it was, I played high school baseball. I was never like fabulous or anything like that. When I went off to college and played at Creighton in Omaha, I was a walk-on and walked on my freshman year. Long story short, I was cut after 2 days, Mike. And I went through a pretty bad identity crisis, right? I think every athlete, every business person, when they move on to that next thing, you go through some identity crisis, right? And lo and behold, very lucky, I was making bad decisions, doing stupid stuff and pulled out of that pretty quick, right? It was a lot of great people around me. It was faith, like things like that pulled me through. But fast forward to my sophomore year, tried out again, walked on again, because I was dared from a friend and figured, what the hell? Hadn't touched the ball in a year, went and tried out, made the team, played for the next 3 years. And then that opened up that professional opportunity overseas for me. But all the while, when I looked, I always struggled with confidence and I would always compare myself to other people, like other players. And a lot of them are bigger, stronger, faster. There's always people who are bigger, stronger, faster, right? I've not met one person who cannot identify one person bigger, stronger, faster, smarter, whatever you want to say, right? And that's something I always struggled with. And I think that held me back because instead of embracing my skill sets, my strengths, that comparison would often get in my way. And that would take me off track. And that's something that I've learned. And did I have the skill set to make it to the major leagues? I don't know. Obviously it would tell you no. If I had that confidence, would it have changed things? Maybe, right? And I don't look back, but that's what I've learned I had to stop comparing. I had to maximize my gifts and talents. That's what today continues to propel me forward. Right. And that's the one thing that sticks out. I think a lot of athletes that at least I work with, we put these athletes on a pedestal, especially at the highest level. Right. And we don't realize they're normal people, just like you and I. And they're struggling with the same stuff at work and at home that you and I are struggling with at work and at home. Right. And that similar pressures. And you have to be willing to look inside and address some of those things. So for me, that's what I've learned. Now I show up much more confident. Do I compare myself to other people? Sure. But I switch it to like what you're doing, Mike. I'm like, that's incredible. I could sit here all day long, compare myself to you and be like, well, I'm not doing what C-Roc's doing. But I look at that and I'm like, man, how awesome that Mike's doing this stuff. That's incredible because it changes my mindset then to be like, now, how can I maximize what I do and how do I leverage and learn from him and take that energy with me and go, after we're done today. And so I've learned these little mindset shifts over time but when you ask that question, that's I think what held me back was that comparison and self-confidence.
That's a common answer that I've gotten from baseball players that were in the minors and didn't make it to the majors. It's a common answer. Now, what you just talked about is we could all look at each other, right? And then what happens is this big, by the way, my language, man, but you get into a big circle jerk. Like if everybody starts looking at each other, comparing each other, it holds everybody back and there's a suppression factor, right? Yep. And so like there's this thing I saw somewhere, I don't remember where, but it talks about these certain ants. And these ants get in a death spiral because they can't see, so they follow other ants based on their senses. And if one ant starts circling in a circle, they all start following in each other's path. And then eventually they don't stop and they just keep going until they die. And that's what happens on this planet a lot of times, man. There's a lot of people that are confused. They're comparing other people. They start following the wrong people. And I love that you said it.